Hello and welcome to another episode of the Portrait Profit Show. I'm so glad that you're spending your Monday evening with us this evening. We've got some fun stuff planned for you. We've got some announcements. We've got some prizes. We've got all kinds of good stuff to share with you today. Thank you so much for spending your time being here today. Your being here, in my opinion, uplifts the entire photography community. So I want to thank you for being here. I want to bring on Amanda from Digital Pro Lab, because this Portrait Profit is sponsored by not only just Landers Photography School, but also by Digital Pro Lab. And Amanda is here with us today to share a little bit about what she's doing and the wonderful things that Digital Pro Lab brings to this photography community.
Yeah, hi everybody. Thanks again for joining us as always. Big hello from Digital Pro Lab. If you're not familiar with us, we're at 10103 San Pedro. We are the largest professional full-service photo lab in San Antonio. And we're always eager to help our fellow photographers or anybody that really wants to take a picture. That's what we specialize in. So some of the things I wanted to talk to you about, I know I've kind of mentioned some things are coming through the pipeline, but we're going to have stickers launched here pretty soon. So I'd love for you to stay tuned. Visit us at digitalprolab.com. Sign up for our newsletter because we'll be making those announcements pretty soon. We've also upgraded our canvas product. We've specialized in doing a high-end giclée canvas. No budget canvases for us at Digital Pro Lab, but we've upgraded at no additional charge our canvas product to an even more premium product. So I'd love for y'all to try that out if you have a chance. We also have partnered on several different upcoming events, so we sponsor them. Elevate exhibition is coming up here pretty soon. I know Jim's going to talk about that. Here on the 18th on Monday. Digital Pro Lab is a big sponsor of that. I don't know if they're still accepting participants. I know they're definitely selling tickets. So tickets. If you are going to be joining and you haven't bought your ticket already to go and support the photographers that are actually going to be showcasing their photography, now is the time to actually go ahead and sign up for that. Go visit the venue, support your local photographers. It's a big networking event. So if you want an excuse to get out there, talk to your fellow comrades out there that love photography as much as we do, show your support. That's what's important about an event like that. And then I know we also have another event on the 21st coming up. So if you follow us on social media at Digital Pro Lab, either on Facebook or on Instagram, we have a lot of events that we run. But one other one that we have is actually with one of our local guilds here, one of our local photography guilds. It's GSAC, which is the Greater San Antonio Camera Club. We do a in-person print competition, which is going to be on October 21st. All you need to do to participate is bring a print, and it'll be up for participation. If you need information about that, again, go to digitalprolab.com, sign up for our email, and that email will be going up here pretty soon, probably tomorrow, giving a little bit more details if you need some details about that. But we encourage printing. Printing is a huge part of what makes photographers and photography great. You want to make long-lasting prints, not just images. We want those prints to last and be able to be passed down from generation to generation or be sold, right? So you can make some additional income there, which is why we do Portrait Profits with Jim. Jim is a big proponent of printing your work. We don't just want to click, and we don't just want to put it online. We also want to put it on people's walls so that they can appreciate it, and that those that come after them appreciate it just as much as the generation before them. So it's very important, and we do a lot in our local community, not just through Portrait Profits, but also through Elevate Exhibit or through in-person print competitions to encourage you to print your work, and that way it'll live on a little bit longer, right? So if anybody has any questions, you know where to find us at Digital Pro Lab at 10103 San Pedro. Find us at digitalprolab.com if I could get my direction right. Otherwise, you know where to find me, guys. So hope to see you soon.
Thanks, Amanda.
You're welcome.
Digital Pro Lab for years has been doing so much for the San Antonio photography community and beyond. It isn't limited to San Antonio area, but that's where it physically exists, and so that's where the biggest amount of effort is placed. And we certainly are lucky to have Digital Pro Lab and Amanda at the helm and her wonderful staff that works with her supporting this effort. We are all benefited by it. Thank you, Amanda.
You're welcome.
Oh man, a bunch of stuff. Yeah, love it. I guess I could tell you about some other things that are coming up here pretty soon. Let's see. Oh, that's getting up on my list. Tomorrow, I have a class called Create Your Referral System. Now, referral, you may think of something that is something that just happens, that people talk about you and that causes more business to happen. And that is certainly true, but you can put that on steroids. You can make it so much more valuable to work and make it work so much that you have clients coming in, prospects that are coming in that are really qualified and ready to be able to work with you. If you put a system together, this really works. And so tomorrow, October 12th at 6 to 8 p.m., there is a cost associated with it. But if you go to this URL right here, the tiny URL, and I'll put that in the comments. Actually, would you, Amanda, would you mind putting that in the comments for me? I have to click too many things to be able to do it. So that's tomorrow from 6 to 8. I only have 3 spaces left, and it's a relatively small class, and I have almost filled that one. But I do have a few spots left in it. And let's see, coming up on Thursday, Photo SA is a camera club that normally would get together, but COVID did cause it to move to online. We pivoted, and next year we'll probably start meeting back in person again. But Photo SA has been around since 2006. There's approximately 1,800 members, local and abroad. And it meets on the second Thursday of every single month. This particular month, we have a speaker who is also a member of our club, but who is on the research vessel Oceana, a part of NOAA, NOAA, the National Oceanic. Oh, I forget the whole thing, but they do research out in the middle of the ocean. And Caitlin Bailey is our speaker. She does underwater photography. She's going to share what she does and a little bit about underwater photography. So this should be really fun and interesting, and something probably most of us will never have an opportunity to do. So let's live vicariously through her eyes. Come see Caitlin Bailey this Thursday for underwater photography. This again is Photo SA. We are meeting right now via Zoom, so you could be anywhere and watch this. Just go to meetup.com/Photo SA, as you see here on the bottom of your screen. Meetup.com/Photo SA. And that's Thursday. On Sunday, the 9th annual San Antonio Photography Tournament is coming. So that is this is a fun tournament. This isn't to see who's the best professional photographer in San Antonio. In fact, there's a lot of professionals who don't show up for this. I guess they're intimidated. You guys don't need to be intimidated. Those amateurs aren't going to show you up. Or maybe they will. But so what? This is all for fun. This is exciting. This is to reinvigorate your photography passions. This is for fun. It's Sunday morning, October 17th. Just go to saphotoevents.com for more information on that. Amanda is in Digital Pro Lab is one of the major sponsors for the annual San Antonio Photography Tournament, and you should see all the stuff that they are bringing to the table as prizes for you guys. Amanda, did you want to share a little bit about your prizes?
Yeah, absolutely. So we give a prize or several prizes for several category winners, right? How many categories are there, Jim?
15 categories.
Yep, and we give prizes in every single one of the categories. We also give a prize to everybody that participates as well. Again, we're big supporters of printing, and a lot of our photographers aren't printing, so we want to make sure that that's easy for you. All you need to do, at least with this particular event, is participate and know that you will get something there. If you're going to be a category winner, we're giving prizes like gallery wrap canvases, we're giving 16 by 20 metal panel prints, we're doing fine art prints, we're doing greeting greeting card packs. If you've never seen your photograph in a greeting card form to make thank you cards, or even a Christmas card coming up, we've got the holidays coming up. We also do specialty products like rock, right? So our slate product is really popular. We do mugs, so we'll be giving some of those away. Really, we want you to see the breadth of what we do, the breadth of what you can do with your photography, and just get really creative with it. We love what we do, and we want you to love what you do just as much as we do when you print it, right? So it's pretty exciting, and we like to give a lot to this particular event. We've done it for several years now with Jim. He always asks us. We always say yes, because we know how important it is, again, to encourage everybody to print their work. It's just something a little bit different about holding it in your hand, and we want to continue to encourage that through all the things that we do with all of our different guilds here in San Antonio. And then, of course, anything else. If anybody has any requests of us, if you know of any other events, you just let us know, because that's what we love to do. We like to help you, like to uplift our community, just like Jim does.
It's fantastic and fun, and so much. There's I don't know how many photographers are going to participate this year. We've had as many as 125 that have participated in these events. We do tend to get more when they're in person than when they're online. Who knows, that might change this year, but right now there's just a handful. So your chances of winning a prize are really good right now. Take advantage of this. It's only $39, so it's not like it costs very much. And you're going to get a gift certificate, something from Digital Pro Lab that will likely be worth even more than that, depending on what it is you get. So that's even if you don't win. But if you do win, oh my gosh, you could really clean up. So definitely encourage you to at least look into that just by going to saphotoevents.com and learn more about the 9th annual San Antonio Photography Tournament. Thanks, Amanda.
Yeah.
Let's see, one more announcement before I move into the reason why we're here. At the end of the month, now this is the same day as Halloween, but this has nothing to do with Halloween. Myself and another teacher from Austin are putting on a workshop. It's a regular class, but it is in person. We are going to be out in the street downtown. Probably downtown. We're going to not tell you where that spot is just yet, and only those who are purchasing we're going to tell. But it's called Stand Out with Editorial Portraits. Now that class is $500. It's not a cheap class. It is a fantastic class, though. Your images will stand out more than they ever have before. The teacher that we have coming in from Austin speaks all over the place. He's one of the major speakers at iHeart Photography that's coming up here pretty soon, and he's one of the stage speakers. And so he knows the stuff. I've known him since the 80s. He's a great guy. So if you don't know Todd White, you're going to know Todd White, and you're going to be grateful that you do. And I want to let you know there's only 15 spots available. I only started telling people about this today, and we already have sold 3. So if it keeps on going like that, those spots will get sold out quickly. But I have a special for you, and it's not listed here. You're going to have to write it down. So I hope you have a notepad. If you don't, I'm giving you only 1 second to get one, and a pen, maybe even a Landers Photography School pen. Write down this promo code, because it's going to take $311 off. So instead of $500, it's going to be $189 with the promo code NOW. Now, if you're curious why I'm doing such a good deal, is because I need to get the models. We're going to have models. I need to get them signed up right away. And to encourage people to sign up right away, I'm giving this really special deal to you guys, not to just everybody, but to you guys. Again, go to this URL that you see here, tinyurl.com/standoutportraits, and enter promo code NOW, all lowercase. And instead of $500, it's going to be $189. Take advantage of it before it's sold out, because it's going to sell out. All right. So again, I am so glad that you guys are here today. Our topic today is brand yourself an expert. And we're going to get into that here in just a moment after I tell you a little bit about what this is, who I am. So I'm Jim Landers, and my mission is simple. I help portrait photographers, just like you, make a great income doing what they love. Each week, you get tips and systems on the business side of photography designed to gain a mastery over marketing and sales, reducing struggles that most photographers face. So you can finally get what you deserve. You're in the right place. Welcome to the Portrait Profits Show. Every single Monday, the Portrait Profits Show. So put it on your calendar. Every single Monday, it's at noon, except for the second Monday, which happens to be today. And I guess you guys know that or you wouldn't be here. On the second Monday, it's at 6:30. Every other Monday, it's at noon. And we have it on one day of the month at a different time, simply to accommodate those who can't make it for a noon appointment. So that's the reason why we do it that way. And let's move into this topic. I'm going to share my screen. And by the way, I want to encourage you guys to post right there where you're watching it on YouTube or you're watching it on Facebook. When you post, we can see it. In fact, you've probably noticed that every once in a while we click on, we show someone's comment. Like Lydia is here. We're glad you're here. It doesn't matter if you're late. You're here. We appreciate you being here. And it looks like Robin Brian is here. Hi, Jim, everyone. Oh, okay. You're using the data on your phone because you want to be here so bad. I'm very impressed. Good job, Robin. Thank you for being here. Gene Shepard says the tournament was so fun last year. I'm so glad you posted that. By the way, you guys, when you post on the Facebook page, I get to see it. It sends it on a list here, and we can click on it and bring it up. Some things that are appropriate, we bring them up. Some things aren't. But I encourage you to comment, ask questions throughout the entire presentation. And then also anything you hear that you like or love, please hit that like or love button. This helps us. Also share this with your friends. There's others who I think might be able to benefit from what we share with you today. So, some more coming in. Wonderful. Good. I'm glad you're a part of this. By the way, when it says Facebook user, it just means that the permissions link hasn't been clicked. On the bottom of the top section of it, now it's going to go long after there's a bunch of comments, but at the top original post, it'll say allow StreamYard permission to use your name, I think, but it says StreamYard. Click on that permission and your name and your photograph will show up if I click your name. So again, I'm encouraging you, comment, ask questions, hit that like button, hit that love button, even better, and share this with your friends. Let me share my screen with you. Speaking of sharing, here is the handout for today. Brand yourself an expert. Now, I want to define what that is before I move into it. So what does branding yourself as an expert even mean? Well, through long-term planning, branding yourself as an expert means building a reputation for yourself, for your target market, as an expert in what it is that you do, what it is you're thrilled with, what it is you're passionate about, what it is you want other people to hire you for, to know that you do. Whether you feel it or not, you are an expert and a leader in what you do, simply by virtue of telling your prospects that you are doing it for money. Now, I know this may sound odd, or I'm going to say it just a little bit differently. The moment you claim to be a photographer and you are willing to accept money, you are claiming expert status. So you might as well really claim it. Now, why would I say that? I mean, you may think, well, no, everybody starts somewhere. They don't start off as an expert. They grow into that. I hear you. But your clients think that if you're a business doing business, that you must be some level of expert because they have a camera, they can do it too. Their neighbor has a camera, they can do it too. So therefore, you're claiming to be better than what the neighbor can do. You're claiming a higher status. You're not claiming beginner status when you say, I am a photographer. You're claiming expert status. So own it. Let me take a drink. I don't know if you're familiar with the author and public speaker, Brian Tracy. Great guy. Look him up if you haven't, if you're not familiar with him. He says, become the leader that people would follow voluntarily, even if you had no title, no position. In other words, you are leading by example. Be that person. A branding statement. It briefly explains what it is that you do, why it is that you do it, and how you are unique. It's the things that make you the expert, the things that make you a leader. It includes experience, skills, how your passion and your passion. So your target market quickly and easily understands how who you are and what it is that you're offering. While it is short, it also contains enough compelling information to convey your value and show your personality. Let's talk about why this is important. Now, you may already figured it out why it's important, but let's talk about it. People are being sold everywhere they turn. You know this. An ad on TV, an ad on social media, billboards as you're driving. If you got the radio on, magazines everywhere. Everywhere you turn, you're being sold. Your target market has experienced every sales tactic ever conceived and are therefore wary of the intentions of those trying to sell them something. So, of course, don't be a salesy salesperson, but just simply become the expert in what you do. That way, when they seek you out, it makes sense. And they want what it is that you're offering right now, not later, right now. Branding yourself as an expert helps in gaining trust and standing out from the crowd of other photographers. Your expert status is what people will associate with you. Now, I want to talk about salespeople for just a moment. A lot of us wonderful, amazing creatives, and we are wonderful, amazing, but we have this negative connotation against sales. Your negative connotation against sales is not against sales, guys. It's against people who do sales wrong, who aren't doing it right. So, of course, we don't like that. But you are a salesperson. If you are an independent photographer, photographing your clients or their products, if you're a commercial photographer, but this is about photographing people, you are a salesperson. Salespeople aren't bad guys. Salespeople are freaking amazing, just like you are as a creative. Salespeople's goals are simple. Find out what someone wants and help them get it. What is bad about that? Nothing. It's all good. It's bad salespeople that give sales that bad reputation. When someone says salesy, we think of the bad. And somehow that has risen to the top of our understanding of what a salesperson is. It shouldn't be, because you are a salesperson, whether you like it or not. A good salesperson is not an accident. It comes through study. It comes through experience. You are a salesperson, and just like anything else, to be the best, it's going to take effort. Let's talk about what you're an expert at. You've already spent countless hours researching and studying your industry, especially your niche. Those of you who have niches. Use that knowledge to position yourself as an expert. So the thing that you are an expert at is what you do, your passion, the things that get you excited, the things you've been studying and implementing for years, most likely. There's always more to learn, even for the experts. No one knows it all. That's impossible. So don't think that you don't know enough. If you're saying you're a photographer, then you, by saying I'm a photographer, are claiming to your prospects that you do know enough. There is no one who's better at being you than you. That makes you the expert in at least one area. That's why you'll always hear successful people say, just be you. Follow your dreams. Don't let anyone get in the way. No excuses. You've heard these before. You don't want to emulate too much someone else, but you definitely want to study that person, those successful people. Trying to be someone else disqualifies you from being the expert, unless, of course, you're a grifter. Then that maybe you'd be an expert grifter, but that's not what we're talking about. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't study successful people. It absolutely means you should study successful people. It means that you should learn lots of different methods, see things from lots of different points of view for setting and reaching goals. And you employ the ones you feel are going to work, and you tweak as you go. So how do we define what we're an expert at? First, I want you to define who you are. You guys have heard me say this before. If you've been on any of these Portrait Prophet shows, or if you've taken any of my classes, I believe the first place you start is defining who you are. A lot of photographers start with pretty pictures and things other people have done and comparing to what other people have done, looking at what other prices are. This is not a beginning place, guys. Those are certainly curiosities, but that's not where you begin. You define you first. Write it down. What's important to you? What do you believe in? What things get you excited? What things bother you? But we'll stay mostly on the positive. What is it that gets you up in the morning? What is it that wakes you up at night that you have to write down an idea? What is it you can't help but share with others? And then, what do you want in this life? What do you want? Do you want to have a house, a bigger house in a nicer neighborhood, some land with a big house? Whatever it is that you want. Maybe you don't care about a house at all. Maybe you want an RV. Maybe you want a tiny house. Maybe you want a yacht in the Caribbean. Whatever it is that you want, write it down. What do you want for yourself? What do you want for your loved ones? What do you want to leave behind when you're gone? What do you want? Define who you are. Guys, it'd be like getting on the road, traveling to somewhere, but you haven't really defined where it is yet. How many of you do that? Maybe every once in a while, but that's not the norm. Usually you get out in your car, you're going to one specific spot. You're going to the grocery store. You're going to the dentist. You're going to a restaurant to have lunch with another photographer. I do that a lot. You have to define your destination in order to create laser focus in getting there. Because in life, there's a lot of good things, but not all those good things will help you reach your destination. We have to define what it is that we like the most, what it is we want, what we want out of this life. That way we give ourselves the potential for success in reaching those things. Define what you enjoy most about the work that you do. Define who you want to work with, your target market. Who is it that you want to get, you want your message heard? Who are those people? Define them. I would also say define who it is you don't want to work with, so you don't accidentally attract those folks. There's some people who bother you. Make sure you're not doing things to attract those guys. You guys have seen these posts on social media where people are complaining about their clients. Guys, if you're complaining about your clients, it's not their fault. It's yours. Yours. Besides, if you don't take ownership of every single perceived concern or problem, how can you even hope to fix it or make it better? You can't. You can only fix problems that are yours. You can't fix someone else's. They might be able to, and they may be able to with your help, but there has to be a willingness. When it's just you, you have to own the problems. So even if it's a problem that you didn't have anything to do with, you can at least choose another path that causes you to avoid it or to fix the problem the next time. That you do have control over. Take control. Things don't happen to you unless you allow it. Things are happening for you. Learn from them. Those negative things, turn them into positive things. It's not that hard. It's a mindset issue. Number 4, describe the value you bring to your target market. Think about what it is they're curious about, what they want more information about, what they feel uncertain about. Consider both directly attributable things as well as those things that are not directly attributable. Now, let's go over that just a little bit because I know that may not make a whole lot of sense. So if we're talking about costs, when we're doing costs of doing business, or time, when we're thinking about time, there's things that we do that we spend time with that are directly attributable to a client. We wouldn't have done them otherwise. But then there's other things that are indirectly attributable to a client, meaning maybe your updates to your website, creating general emails that go out to everybody on your list. These are generalized. These are not directly attributable. But when you start talking to that client, it now becomes directly attributable. Those emails going back and forth, this time, the phone calls, site visit, planning sessions, the session itself, all the drive time, the post-production work, everything all those things are directly attributable. So they're giving you just an example of what that means. All right. So let's say, okay, I get it. So what now? What do I actually do with this information? And how do I do it? Good question. All right. So let's create a branding statement. Take that definition of you, that definition of your business, how you defined your target market, and develop that into a solid, easy to comprehend description that you can share at every opportunity. Here's how. Number 1, there's 3 parts. Write a short paragraph about your expertise. Short, up to 3 sentences. This is your homework, guys. Number 2, create 3 to 5 bullet points about your expertise that prove you actually do know what it is you're talking about. 3 to 5 bullet points. And then a closing comment. This is to wrap it up and convey that you can share what you do succinctly. Keep in mind, you're sharing something helpful. Review your description to make sure not to come off as salesy. Once you have built a relationship, you have a resource for years to come. So this is a wonderful tool to be able to use and continue to use throughout an entire career. So I've got this, I've got it done. What do I do with it? All right. Who and where do you share this description with? Let's talk about that. People who your target market spends time with. Now, obviously, we're going to share it with those who are our target market, but we also share it with people who our target market spends time with. I want you first, more homework. Number 1, make a list of all all things that your target market pays attention to. Everything. This list could include TV. It could include radio. It could be service organizations like Rotary, Lions Club, Optimist Club, Kiwanis Club, Toastmasters. There's a bunch. B&I groups, professional organizations like the PPSA, Professional Photographers of San Antonio, highly recommended. Interest groups like moms groups. Whatever it is your target market has an interest in, make a list. Social media groups, influencers, YouTube, podcasters, live streamers, bloggers, etc. All the other things. If your target market pays attention to it, put it on this list. Number 2, this introduction that you created, send your introduction to those organizations and those individuals. I do recommend that you create an organized plan and automate this, because this can be very time consuming. But there's a lot of software programs out there that help you with this kind of thing. I use Infusionsoft. I don't know that I'm going to recommend Infusionsoft because it's kind of on the expensive side. It's about $320 a month, and that's for my grandfather. Then I think they charge a lot more for it now. But there's a lot of software programs out there for photographers, and I highly recommend that you look into those because they're fantastic. If you don't have a studio management software program right now, you need a studio management software program. It's going to make your life so much easier. There's a bunch of them out there, like Pixify, Dubsado, Sprout Studio, Honeybook. There's a bunch. Look into them. I can help you with that if you want to at a different time, of course. Number 3, create a list of those connections and add to it regularly. Add to your list of connections regularly. Reach out to them regularly because you want to maintain that relationship that you've built. Number 5, add the description to your website, to your social media, and other places where your target market's going to see information about you. Add a page to your website to encourage speaking engagements. Outline your expertise, and after you have done some, highlight the presentations that you've made. Speaking engagements. All right. I know some of you don't like that idea. I get it. And you may be surprised to know that speaking engagements make me nervous too. Yeah, I do a lot of them. A lot. They're fantastic. They're fun. You get to be around people who are interested in the same thing you are. It feels great for them to look at you as the expert. Talk about a confidence boost. Sure, at first it's kind of scary. You've got butterflies in your stomach. I have sweat dripping down my back. I know, TMI, too much information. But I get nervous about those kind of things. But I thoroughly enjoy it, and I know that it is beneficial. So I get out and I do speaking engagements. And I encourage you to do the same. All right, what else can you do with this? There's a lot. You can write a book. You know, whenever you come across someone who's an author, doesn't that automatically make them an expert at what they do? Write a book. Write regular articles for magazines or relevant social media groups. I'd say do this for social media groups at least once a month. And about 500 words is appropriate for some things. If it's a social media post, that's way too much. So you want to gear that based on the audience. Now, I have come across some photographers who have taken my advice on this, generally, but not to the specific that I'm referring to. Make sure that your target market are those who have the potential to buy from you. I know a photographer who has done some of the things that I've talked about. We had several private sessions, and this photographer is wonderful. But it seems like a lot of the people that he's talking to are people who aren't part of his target market, people who don't have any potential to buy his photography from him. He's not doing a good job of target marketing his target market's interests. He's doing a good job of target marketing his interests. So make sure that you're doing a good job of target marketing the interests of your target market, which very well could be the same as yours, but you don't want to attract other photographers. You want to attract, let's say you photograph family portraits. You want to attract moms and grandmothers. It's not photographers that are your target market. So speaking at PPA wouldn't benefit you, but speaking at a mom's group sure could. Speaking at a Rotary group sure could. Make sure you're doing a good job of targeting the market. Share all the articles with your contacts that you write, social media, your email. And then the next one is create your own quote graphics. You see this one on the side. Reminder number 213. Comparison, the point where loss of clarity begins. It does not matter what they do. You be you. So that says a public service announcement from Landers Photography School. When you create these different pieces of material that people can use, then you start looking like the expert, and pretty darn quickly. Again, make sure your target market is correct, because you could put a whole lot of effort into this and not get any business out of it. So all this effort is wonderful as long as you've correctly targeted the market. Create and maintain your own blog and or guest post on other blogs or vlogs if you like being on camera. How about being a live stream guest? Just a few weeks ago, I think it's about 4 weeks ago, Tara Eggy from Elevate Exhibition. She is the organizer now. She's got a team of people that are working to help her out with this. And both myself and Amanda are on that team. And there's several more doing wonderful things, great people. And if I had a list of them sitting in front of me, I would just read them off right now because they're all fantastic people, photographers, volunteers. Tara Eggy came on the Portrait Profit Show and shared about the Elevate exhibition. That was about, again, 4 weeks ago. It's coming up this next week, 1 week from today. So I hope to see you in person there. And so elevateexhibition.com, just in case you didn't get it when we said it before, elevateexhibition.com, and then click on Get Tickets. It's right up at the top of the page, Get Tickets. Maybe it's singular, Get Ticket. All right. So being on a live stream or a podcast, or being a guest host, or being a guest on, excuse me, not a guest host, but a guest on someone else's live stream or blog or something that they do. Fantastic ways to be able to make yourself the expert. Now, once you do get these, make sure to share the link on your stuff so that clients know that you're everywhere. Blog, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Whenever you're doing these things, share it. Don't assume that if you're a guest on someone's live stream, that's good enough. No, share this with your target market. Share this with your people. I am going to be. Or if it's something that can't be announced ahead of time, you can share the link afterwards saying that I was, ... whatever it was that you did. But share this. Allow your target market, the people, your clients, to know you're the expert in the field. It feels good to get those responses from your clients saying, clearly you're the expert. In some words, they don't say those words exactly, but they'll say something along those lines that show, that illustrate that they understand you're doing it. You're doing it. You're making it happen. You're the expert. All right, back to speaking engagements. Build your reputation as an expert by seeking out speaking engagements. You may wind up speaking at conferences. You may wind up speaking at events. You may wind up speaking at different clubs and organizations, Rotary clubs, different service organizations, like the Kiwanis and the Lions Club. These are all examples of service organizations. There's a bunch of them out there, some of them worldwide, some of them local. But if they serve your target market, you want to be a speaker. I also recommend that you create a video of yourself while speaking to the group at those speaking engagements. You might need an assistant to help you out. Maybe they can hold their cell phone or your cell phone, or get one of those selfie cell phone mounts that swivels to follow you as you move. I use one that's called the OBSBot Me, OBSBot, OBSBOT Me, and it's just this little thing. It's it looks like it has a camera on it, but it's just the little eye, so it follows you. But it has a camera mount on it. That part looks pretty obvious, and it just follows you as you move. It just follows you. So pretty darn cool. Use a wireless microphone, otherwise audio is going to be bad. So use a wireless microphone and be appropriately dressed. There are no do-overs when you're doing speaking engagements. So edit and then share the video on your YouTube channel. Share the link with your contacts via email. Share it via social media. How about video shorts? Something else you can do. Create content that you create about specific topics. Short, about 10 seconds to a minute. Share them with your contacts on social media, including your YouTube channel. How about be seen with other experts? How about other celebrities? Not other, you wouldn't be a celebrity, but being seen with celebrities. Videos and selfies, and create these videos, create these selfies, and then post them. I know we used to make fun of selfies, but it is one of those things that it causes people to understand that you're out there, that you're doing things. So be seen. Volunteer with organizations where your target market is. Like I said with Elevate Exhibition, there are a lot of photographers that donated their time for this. Volunteer with organizations where your target market is. If you feel like your target market are all contributors to the United Way, then volunteer for the United Way. Be a volunteer where your target market is. Now, as far as the recipients of the donations from these organizations, I'm not saying that they have to be your target market, but the volunteers, the board, if they are your target market, then this is a place to be. Give your target market reasons to have a photograph with you and encourage them to share it on social media. Now let's talk about a mistake real quick. Doing any of these things outside of your target market, which I already touched on, is a mistake. It's difficult. It's time consuming enough. Don't do things that do not benefit your long-term goals. And don't do any of these things until you have defined your long-term goals. But the biggest mistake is taking no action at all. Saying, yeah, some of that's good. I like that. I'm going to do that. And then not doing anything. That's the biggest mistake right there. So I'm encouraging you to, in a lot of cases, step outside of your comfort zone. By the way, you don't find success in the comfort zone. I think you guys know it. If you are putting all your energy into staying in your comfort zone, you are putting energy into staying stagnant. That is not how you define success. You will, and most likely already have, stepped outside of your comfort zone. You're going to continue. It's going to get more. But guess what? Your comfort zone changes the more you become familiar. When you are doing something you've never done before, yes, you're going to be uncomfortable, of course. But after you've done that a few times, doesn't that slow or even sometimes go away? I mean, let's say you were a new kid in school. You had to move and you're a new kid in school. You're going to feel very uncomfortable at first. But for most of us, and I know there's exceptions, most of us, within a relatively short period of time, at least looking back at it, became very comfortable in that environment, an environment that we dreaded at one time. Put yourself in different and difficult situations. You will grow and you will become comfortable as a result of those efforts. Yeah, that's a good point. So Fred commented, Toastmasters can help with building your speaking confidence. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. Look it up. Very easy to find. And John Knotts is one of the local guys who's in charge of that. I think he's the current president of one of the local Toastmasters. But reach out to him. But Toastmasters is a great way to increase your speaking confidence. Thank you for sharing that, Fred. Yeah. Yes. Absolutely, I do. I, I know I'm very well aware I don't come across as an introvert, and my wife likes to make fun of me about it. But I am. But I thoroughly believe in uplifting photographers and sharing what I've learned and causing good things to happen in this community of photographers. And so because that pushes me more than the uncomfortable feeling of being an introvert does. And so that's how I'm able to get past that. And I feel like for most of us who are in that introvert side of things, we actually would be doing the same thing I'm doing. When you believe in something greater, you actually will step outside of your comfort zone. You have done this before. You know you've proven this to yourself before. So I recommend that you make a plan and do it. When you've made a plan, it's easier. It is. Because then you've committed yourself. Now I have to do it. If you don't have a plan, then it's always something that can be put off until later. I can do that next month. I can do that in the spring. I'm reading some of your comments right now. And definitely thank you for those comments. Oh, thanks, Angel. And for sure. And second graders, second graders are, do you know, I got a quick story for you, Nita. I don't know if I told you this story or not, but it's fun. Right after graduating from college, in case you guys don't know, I have a degree in photography, a 4-year degree that I got from Sam Houston State University. And I studied under the only 2 people I've ever known that had doctorate degrees in photography. Did you know you could get a doctorate in photography? Who knew? Dr. Emmett Smith and Dr. Thomas Seifert. I studied with them. And for the 4 years that I was in school. Actually, I finished in 3, so in 3 years, but still it's 4-year degree. But right after graduating, I was the photography manager for SeaWorld. And during the school year, there wasn't anything to do, but I was a manager, so I got paid year round. So that was pretty darn cool. But I didn't have anything to do during the week. So guess what I did? I was a substitute teacher. And guess who my favorite age was? Second graders. Loved those guys. They had so much energy and so much interest. It always felt like they wanted to learn more. So, and I have more to share about that story, but I'll share that one just with you because it might go too long. But yeah, second graders they were fantastic. I loved those little guys. And let's see, Tommy. Hey, by the way, I'm glad you're here. I stepped out of my comfort zone with portrait photography and learning lighting. Yeah. Definitely nervous taking people's photos professionally. Yeah. You know what? I still get nervous with that. When I'm on a photo session, do you know why I feel like we creatives get nervous when we go to a photo session? Because we care. We want to do a good job. We want to knock it out of the ballpark. We want to cause them to be excited and really feel like this was a wonderful experience. We want them to cry tears of joy when they see their photographs. And when it's displayed on their wall, we want them to cry tears of joy every day when they pass by it. A little bit of pressure in that. And I think that does make us a little nervous, maybe out of our comfort zone a little bit. But man, is it good to do that. It absolutely is good to do that. Thank you, Tommy, for pointing that out. Yeah, I think a lot of us are nervous when we're photographing. Yes, my first photography job was in 1983, but I didn't do really much until I became a full-time professional. So from 1983 to 1991, I really did not much because most of the time I was in school, I was studying. And so when I graduated in 1991, that's when I became a full-time professional photographer. And that's how photography is how I've earned my living since 1991. So 3 decades I've earned a living with photography. I haven't had any corporate jobs or any of that stuff. I have had some part-time jobs that helped support my photography habit, but those, generally speaking, were photography related in order to help me grow. So it's always been photography, always been photography. And so I guess I'm just an idiot savant, maybe without the savant part. No. But yeah, thank you for sharing that, Tommy. I'm looking through the comments here. Sharing is caring. Yeah, it is. Yep, I agree. I don't know who said that, but thank you for sharing that. And Fred mentioned another software company that I didn't mention. That's 17 Hats. So that's definitely a good one. They do a good job. They aren't necessarily specific for photographers, but they have a lot of things that photographers need. So that still makes it a good choice. It's not in my top 5, but it's definitely in my top 10. So it is a good company. Yeah, 17 Hats is good. Thank you for sharing that, Fred. They are the best, Nita, aren't they? Second graders. I don't know why I like those guys so much. Actually, I totally know why I like those guys so much. Is because of their interest. They thoroughly wanted to learn. Yeah, they thoroughly wanted to learn. And do I have any other comments or questions about branding yourself as an expert and why this is an important thing to do? And do you guys have any suggestions that I didn't mention? What else could someone do to put themselves in that light of being an expert to their target market? Not to just anyone, but their target market, because we want to grow the people we want to work with. We don't want to waste time with with people who we don't want to work with. It'd be like going to the tool store and buying all the tools you didn't need. No, you go to the tool store and you get just what you need, and you leave the rest there. You don't think that they're bad. You just don't need them right now. They're not part of the grouping of tools that you need. I like that question. Do you think you can narrow your field too much? Yeah, in some instances, I do believe you can. I've come across very few who have gotten to that point, though. So is it possible, to answer your question, can you narrow your field too much? Yes. Yeah, you absolutely can. Most photographers, when you look at I'm being silly and serious. With a class one time, we just visited several photographers' websites, and we were specifically looking at what do they do and how do they express what they do. One of them made me laugh, and I still remember it. This is years ago. This wasn't a recent class, but we went to this photographer's website, and it says, "I specialize in," and it looked like a lot of things listed. And so I counted them. 27. They said they specialized in 27 different things. Now, if that's not a creative's definition of specialize, I'm not sure what that is. So the majority of us specialize in way too many things. We're way too broad. It'd be like saying you'd have to describe yourself as let's go with the tools. And I like to give examples of I consider us to be a tool to help others get what they want, to help our clients get what they want. We're a tool. That's what we are. And we use tools to help that happen. So I'm going to use the tool store as an example. If you were to describe yourself in a general way, then you could easily be misunderstood. So for that tool store example, let's say that you say, I specialize in cutting things with a spinning motion. Now that sounds pretty specialized, right? But think about it. How many things fall into that category? We could be talking about a circular saw. We could be talking about a lawnmower, a weed eater. There's a lot of things in that category. The majority of us are not on the narrow side. We are on the wide side. You don't get known by the people you want to work with by being general. You get known by the people you want to work with by being clear, very specific, so they understand what it is that you do. I'll give you an example. Several years ago, one of my business coaches, by the way, I'd absolutely recommend you guys get a business coach, whether it's a photography business coach like me or a business coach that has nothing to do with photography. Get a business coach. They will take your business through the freaking roof. I'm not exaggerating. All right. So this particular business coach was giving me an example of this. He said, all right, let's say your wife was pregnant and she said, I want something from the store and it is 1:30 in the morning. And you know of two stores that are open late. One, a little bit further, is open 24 hours. Another one, you know, it closes at either 1:30 or 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock and it's 1:30. Herein lies the problem. One is closer. The one that closes at either 1 or 2, you're not sure. Closes at 1 or 2 o'clock. It's 1:30 right now, a.m. They are closer. The other one is kind of like it makes a triangle from your home. Your home, the closer one, the further one. Make it more like that. If you were to go to the one that's closer and they are closed, then what's going to happen is 3 times the length of your drive time. That's not good. Your wife wants it now. And so you're likely to go with the one that you know is going to be open simply because you don't want to risk it. This happens with price and a lot of other things too. You can apply the same story in other ways. We go with things that we are confident in, things that we know. So if someone says, I'm a newborn portrait photographer, the family portrait photographer doesn't call them. However, those who want the newborn portrait photography do, because they know they're going to get exactly what they want. Highly specialized field. By the way, just because you can press a button does not mean you can do newborns. With any type of photography, you can't do it until you've studied with someone else. Yes, you can press the button in front of anything, but that is exactly what the neighbor could have done too. And if you're charging and you're not doing anything more than what the neighbor could have done, come on, guys. Let's be fair to our clients. It's just my opinion. Yeah. Let's see. Melissa Hernandez, be a guest on blogs and virtual meetings. Absolutely. Definitely good ones for sure. Tommy, does it look better to have a website for yourself or a Facebook business page? See, that is a good question, but it is very specific to your target market. So in general, I can't answer that question. But in specific, knowing if I know who you are, let's say I'm your business coach. If I know who you are and we've defined who your target market is and we know what your destination is, what it is you're working towards, what you're trying to accomplish, with laser focus, we'll know exactly what is best for you in your situation. That way you don't waste your time with other good things. There's lots of good things in the tool store. You don't need them all. If you're going from point A to point B, if you're in La Cantera and you're on La Cantera's on I-10 just north of 1604, and you're going to downtown San Antonio, and it's a time of day when traffic isn't an issue. Let's take that particular variable out, and you have 25 minutes to get there. There's enough time to get there. Again, as long as there's no traffic issues, you can get there in 25 minutes. But let's say that you never defined when you were supposed to get there. You could stop at good things along the way. Starbucks. Let's say you love Starbucks. You could stop at Starbucks. It's a tangent. It's good, so therefore you put it in the good category. Guys, it's not the difference between good and bad when you're making your decisions for your photography business. Those are obvious. You should be thinking about the difference between good and right for you and your future. Not good and bad. There's too many good things. And a lot of those good things take you in a different direction, or at least derail you temporarily. It's not the difference between good and bad. It's the difference between good and right. What is right to help you laser focus your attention, your time, your money towards your end result goals. And if you don't know what those are, do them today. Extremely important. Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. Let's see. Comment on articles that you're an expert on and share them on your social. For sure. Good one. Let's see. Okay, that's a good response. You guys can read that one. Thank you for sharing that, Melissa. I appreciate that. Yep. Yep. Good. Thanks, Tommy. Oh, man, this is good. A bunch of good things in here. All right. So any other thoughts or questions on this? By the way, we can continue this particular discussion for quite some time, but we have a limited amount of time, and I'm sure a limited amount of attention, a limited amount of availability, a lot of limits. And so I don't want to continue this for too long. Besides, I've got classes on this stuff. That's how I earn the majority of my living now, is helping photographers. I give away a ton of free stuff. In fact, it's probably a 2-to-1 ratio, the free stuff versus the paid stuff. I'm not exaggerating. If you guys want to take advantage of something for free from me, well, I'll tell you how you can do that. How about this? I'll give you a 30-minute private session. We can talk about your goals. We can talk about your price list. We can talk about your marketing plan. It's free. Take advantage of it. You might have to, rewatch this because I'm about to change off of it to get that address. Or how about sign up for Lunch with Landers? I take at least one photographer to lunch every single week on me. Free, guys. I saw some posts just recently on a Facebook page. A lot of good information, a lot of good sources, a lot of good responses, good information being shared. But I saw, I think, 3 that said that those who sell photography education are scammers and money grabbers. I'm sure there are some who are, but this guy isn't one of them. Here's one of the things that proves that. Lunch with Landers. I take one person by yourself. This isn't a group of people. I'd like to do that too. Maybe on Friday afternoon, maybe I'd have a group of people. We meet at a restaurant for lunch. That would be kind of fun, but I don't have that plan just yet. But this is one-on-one private time. So that's where you, if you want to take advantage of that, take advantage of it. It's there. Now, my Lunch with Landers is on Tuesdays, and it's booked out for about a month and a half. So it'll be a little while before you find a date on there that's available. But find one. It's there. You just click on that. You'll see my schedule and have access to that. So either one of those. Yeah, that's a good idea. I like that. Do lunch with a few and record a round table. Yeah. I bet there'd be people interested in coming and watching that later. Good one, Melissa. Thank you. All right. Amanda, can I bring you back on to we're getting close to closing. Amanda, do you have some additional thoughts on this? I mean, you're considered an expert in your field. Why do you feel that's the case? I mean, you're aware of this. I'm not telling you something you don't know. How is it that you have become this expert that someone can look up to and say, I'm going to go ask Amanda? I hear people say that all the time, and I tell people to do that all the time.
To be perfectly honest, I put myself out there. I make myself accessible to really anybody. Anybody can come into Digital Pro Lab, and I'm more than happy to talk to you, talk shop, so to speak. You ask me questions. We, debate on certain things. I try and allow myself to help. If you can be a helper and feel helpful, give information. If somebody gets information from you, gets a little bit of education from you, then boom, you're an expert. They'll come back to you for additional advice. After that, they're going to recommend other people to come to you. So that's really how it snowballs. The other thing that I've found is put yourself out there, commit to something. I know I've committed next month in November to be a speaker at PPSA's monthly meeting. I'm going to be speaking on the power of partnerships. So a lot of what Jim was talking about today, volunteering, doing things like that helps to build networks, and you can then evolve into building partnerships. That's not something that I went to school for. It's something that I have learned over time. And this is the first time I'm actually going to be speaking on it because I feel at this point that, one, somebody asked me if I would like to speak. Two, I had to think about what I wanted to share with everybody, and something that I knew that I felt very confident that I understood, and something that even at this moment, as I'm preparing my speech for that particular event coming up, I'm realizing in creating the content for it that I know a lot more than even I give myself credit for. So I encourage you to commit to something. I know that I'm not going to back down from being a speaker at an event, because that's not the kind of person I am. I'm not going to back out at the last minute. So I know that I'm going to 110% commit to being overly prepared for that speaking engagement. And I know that a lot of y'all are the same way. Once you commit to something, you're not going to back out, and you're going to make sure that you're confident in what you're talking about. You're going to over prepare. And really those uncomfortable situations, I also get nervous at speaking engagements, just like many of you, but they're fun, and you realize that you know a lot. And then people ask you questions, and you know what? You walk away sometimes after hearing some of the questions, even if you don't know them, it's okay. That's going to give you something more to learn that you can later be an expert on. So you really just have to put yourself out there and just commit to doing something that really is uncomfortable. I know I've been doing this for a while. I'm uncomfortable when I'm comfortable. So I like challenges. I like to commit to things that are a little bit outside my comfort zone, like I said. So I encourage you to do the same thing. I know it's weird, but that's how you become an expert. And again, just be helpful. If you can be helpful and engaging with your community or with your target markets, just being that act of being helpful will evolve into being an expert in what you're providing help in. So that's another way of looking at it. You don't have to, I mean, Jim's telling you, be an expert, absolutely. But an easier way of saying that is just being somebody that's helpful in a specific area. That's really all it is. And then from there, it just, you just get better and better. So that's my advice.
So right. Yeah, Amber, Amanda, it's perfect. You are, you're being seen, you're being helpful, you're being viewed as a person who is beneficial to the group. And so it's a win-win. It helps the group, it helps the individual, it helps you as a person, it helps you to become a more confident person, and you grow, you become a better person worthy of the expert status that people are going to be giving you. Good job, Amanda. All right. I don't see any other comments here, so I'm going to real quickly go over the things that are coming up. This tomorrow, create a referral system. This is Landers Photography School, and I definitely recommend that you take a look at that. You can just use that URL that's right there and take a look. It is one of my paid things, so it's not one of the free ones. There's a ton of free ones. This isn't one of them, but it's worth every penny. In fact, I guarantee it. I guarantee all my stuff. And then on Thursday is photo essay, underwater photography. That's at 6:30 on Thursday via Zoom. So that go to meetup.com/photo essay to get that information. You do have to RSVP, otherwise you won't get the Zoom login information. So you do need to do that. Hey, Ray. And then and on Sunday, the 9th annual San Antonio Photography Tournament. Man, I can't encourage you guys enough. This is fun. This isn't a serious tournament. It's not to determine who the best photographer is. This is an instant gratification photographer's challenge, meaning you get the 15 categories in the morning at about 8:30 in the morning. And then you have the next several hours to go photograph every category that you want to participate in. And then you have those images sent in. You send them in before noon, because at noon is when the judges start working. So if it's afternoon and you haven't sent them in, the judges won't see them. So you get them in ahead of time, which is no problem as long as you know about it ahead of time. And the judges are local San Antonio photography teachers. They're mostly high school photography teachers, but that's where the majority of them are coming from. Not all, but almost all. And so they're going to do their thing starting at noon. They'll be done right around 2 o'clock, and we'll start announcing the winners at that point. We'll announce the winners of every single category, a first, a second, and an honorable mention in every single category, with prizes, with certificates, and a lot of those prizes are coming from Digital Pro Lab. You're going to like them. There's a ton of prizes. You're going to like the prizes. I just want to make sure you know that a lot of them are coming from Digital Pro Lab, because Amanda always gives great prizes. And so that is on Sunday. So just go to SA Photo Events for information about that. And then, of course, this is in-person Elevate exhibition. Now, they filled up about a week ago today, and so there's no more room for any additional photographers. You guys might have seen it on Ken's 5. This was on the news just a few days ago. It happened to air just 2 days before it sold out, and so maybe you weren't able to participate. But this is an annual event, and so you'll be able to participate in showing your photographs next year. But show up to this one. Be here in person. There's going to be a lot of photographers there. And so this is a great networking event. Go visit. It's lightweight. It's fun. Talk to people who are doing similar things to what you're doing. See some examples of some of the work of some of the most creative photographers in San Antonio. I hope to see you guys. I know you'll see both Amanda and I there. And this is Monday from 4 to 10. Now, you don't have to be there the entire time. That's just when it's open, from 4 to 10. So be there at some point between 4 and 10. And the ticket includes a drink and some hors d'oeuvres. So I'm not saying come hungry, but there's some stuff there. And if you'd like a few more drinks, well, there's an open bar. You can take advantage of that. Not open bar, cash bar. I got to make sure I say that correctly. So that's what's coming up. And then one more thing to announce before we close. Stand Out with Editorial Portraits. This is with Todd White and myself. Todd is a photographer in Austin, and he and I have been friends since 1987, I believe. And so we've known each other for a long, long time. But he is going to be leading this one. Stand Out with Editorial Portraits. Your photographs are going to stand out after this class. Again, this one does have a cost associated with it. It's $500. However, you don't see it here. Write this down. You can take $311 off, making it only $189 if you use this promo code now. NOW, all lowercase. It will drop the price from $500 to $189. Seriously. But there's only 15 spots available, so I would do it quickly. When I mentioned that earlier, someone already took advantage of it who was on this Portrait Profits show today. And so we've sold one more, and maybe you guys want to take advantage of it. But please do that. It's going to sell out. We will have models there. It's going to be a fantastic event. And again, yes, it's on October 31st. It has nothing to do with Halloween. There won't be anything Halloween about it. This is just how to use the equipment that you have, ambient lighting, reflector, but no flash. This one is no flash at all. So, do I see a couple of comments? Oh, just some. Oh, good. I appreciate those. Thank yous, guys. Chuck and Steve and Fred. Yes. He's thanking you for those, thanking you, Amanda, for those awesome prizes. Yep, Chuck, we're sold out. Now, Chuck, we're sold out for Elevate, but not for the tournament. The tournament still has spots available. It's virtual, so we have a large number that we can actually top out at. So there's plenty of spots left to participate in the tournament, but it is the Elevate participants is sold out, but you can still show up, and we encourage you to do so. So thank you guys for being here. Thanks, Rick. Glad you're here. Anything that you wanted to share before we close, Amanda?
I just want to encourage everybody to print. I know I saw Rick come through today. He picked up his metal panel prints. I saw Steve come by today. If my memory's right? He came by today and saw his amazing fine art prints. This is all great stuff, guys. We encourage you. You encourage us to be better. So let's just, continue on. Take it a day at a time, picture at a time, print at a time. Let's do it.
Nice. Thank you, Amanda. Oh, Miguel said, when's the last time to register for the competition? Friday. So just a few days away is the last time. We have Saturday to get prepared. So sometime on Saturday, probably at noon, we'll start getting prepared for Sunday. And I guess if we get some on Saturday morning, we probably would still go ahead and accept them, as long as it's before we started moving. There's a whole bunch of stuff behind the scenes for the tournament. There's I think about 20 people who are volunteering to help make it happen. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes. So that is Friday to sign up for the tournament. Thank you for asking that question, Miguel. So I want to thank you guys once again for being here, for brand yourself as an expert, and for being here at the Portrait Profits show that is on every single Monday, brought to you by Digital Pro Lab, Amanda, and Landers Photography School. And we absolutely appreciate you guys being here. For Landers Photography School and Digital Pro Lab, this is Jim Landers bringing you the weekly Portrait Profits show, giving you evolving content, awareness, and even fun to the business side of photography. We provide helpful information, step-by-step processes, how-to articles, and action steps that will help you with the struggles that you deal with now, so that you're constantly realigned to the path that leads to the success you deserve. Bye-bye for now.